During the last holidays, I went on a trip to Mexico. I learned a lot about the culture and people, as I was hoping to do. However, while I was in a small beach town in the south of the country, I learned something unexpected. At my hostel, I met a young woman called Unearthed. She was from Israel, and we had some conversation. I gathered she'd done some military service, as everyone has to do in Israel. She'd also travelled a bit. She'd been to Sydney and really enjoyed her time there. She reckons that Tel Aviv is very similar, and a lot of people from Israel are very fond of Sydney. Later that night, Unearthed was telling me how uncomfortable she was to be in Mexico alone. She had heard that a year ago, someone had murdered a female tourist in this area. When she reminded herself of this, her shoulders and neck became taut as she took a furtive look over her shoulders. Her concern seemed intense, as if she might be vulnerable to a similar attack. I thought this was odd. At the time, I couldn't make sense of her apprehension. I dismissed it. There was nothing to worry about. The next morning, I went to an internet cafe to write some emails. I was writing an email when I noticed that the woman sitting at the computer next to me was crying. The sound was soft, but deep and penetrating. I then noticed on her screen someone had written something to her in Hebrew. Seeing that she had a friend who was sitting with her, I chose not to enter their space. My own world is one of security. For a moment I saw how Unearthed and others know something else. I thought I'd heard and understood. But I hadn't heard.